Hope I am not going above your head. I am trying to get into your head. Before continuing next sessions, before taking the process further, I want you to just spend few minutes, listen carefully so you can understand. Few minutes. Your experiences with time as perception. Listen, I'll repeat. When you are restless, how time doesn't move. When you are sad, time is long. I gave various definitions of time. When you are happy, time flies. Your experience about this truth I have given many definitions about time. Time is slow when you wait. Time is fast when you are late. Time is deadly when you are sad. Time is short when you are happy. Time is endless when you are in pain. Time is long when you feel bored. About these perceptions, I don't want to give the title experience for this. Please understand. Only when you experience the reality that is called experience. Everything else is only perception. All the people who are in delusion, if they accept, agree something common, that is called fact. One person who is waking up from the delusion, see something little higher than the common understandings among the deluded people, he sees truth. When he is fully out and experiences the existence, that is reality. Only for reality I want to use the word experience. You can't use the word experience for anything else. So your perception about time, at least 2-3 incidents when you felt time is too long, 2-3 incidents when you felt time is too short, 2-3 incidents when you felt time literally flies. 2-3 incidents when you felt, is the clock, something is wrong with the clock? Is it repaired? Why it is not moving? Why it is not changing? Just 2-3 in your life. Try to recollect and pen down. A few minutes. So when I am explaining the next truths, you will easily be able to relate with it. That is why. See, whatever I am explaining, if you do not internalize, understand I am using the word internalize. Analyzing for the sake of internalizing is internalizing. Analyzing for the sake of discarding is atheism. Atheists analyze everything only to discard. Take few minutes, recollect, write elaborately. Don't take like notes, college notes. No. Recollect at least 2-3 incidents for each of this concept. When time was too long, or when time was too short, when time was not just moving. Once I remember, I spoke continuously for 14 hours without moving from the seat. One session, introduction to Shivagamas. I introduced Shivagamas in 2005. I still remember the old meditation hall, which we used to call that time Devasabha. And I don't know whether you guys will be able to believe, we have a video record. Not a single one went out even for 1, 2, 3 break, no tea, no breakfast, nothing. It's not that I told them to not to move. Like today morning I said, let's have absolute no movement. It's not that. I told them whenever anybody wants to go out, please go and eat and come. I am going to move out only after I feel I have introduced. Later on only I realized it was one session at a stretch. So sometime you would have had an experience when the time was too short. 14 hours was just maybe half an hour. That's the way it was. Time was too short. If you look in your life, there will be some period. Time was too short. If you are married, you will have a lot of examples. Just write before marriage, after marriage, that's write some incidents when you felt time was too long, some incidents when time was too short, some incidents when time was not just moving, some incident when time was just flying. I had a fortune of meeting a great Paramahamsa. His name was Sundananda Swami. He was from Ramakrishna order in Mangalore. Now he is no more, he left the body. In his room he will have 25 clocks. One will show 8:30, one 9:10, another one 1:30, another one 2:40. Like this 25 different times. I used to ask him, Maharaji, why this is an elderly person. Maharaji, why like this? So many clocks with so many time. What is actual time? He will say, hey, Koka. Koka means in Bengali, small boy. He will say, hey, Koka. Whatever time I want, I will keep that clock as a real time. It was very shocking. And he was head of the monastery where so much need to happen as per the chronological clock. But he was always making everything happen. You may wonder, is it practically possible? For my type of, each one thinks your type is the specific, special type which has no similarity in the planet Earth. Each one of us think that. You don't know about me, Swamiji. You may think, but I tell you, it is possible. I'll make it. I'll make it by tomorrow evening. The absolute freedom from time. Listen. Consider this line, straight line, as present moment. Now, every thought happens between past and future. Please listen. Actually, from morning I am giving you different truths about time. Now all those zigzag puzzles will fall in place if you just grasp this one. All thoughts, it can be as simple as feeling like having a cup of tea, or as complicated as politically strategizing for some victory. It can be as simple as wanting to have a cup of coffee, or as complicated as political strategizing for some victory. Any thought, thought means movement between past and future. Thought means nothing but you move to the past and future. This is past. Let's consider this as past, and this as future. The center moment, present, where the present meets the past and future. That moment is now. This is that now. Present. Understand, if these lines symbolically represent time, means this board is the space. Symbolically, this board represents space. On space only the whole time happens. Space is the most subtlest matter on which the play of time happens. Just understand this example. Your movement between past and future is thought. Like you jump from here to there to here, here to there to here, here to there to here. That is what I call your perception about you, life, your existence. Your existence is nothing but the movements. Because till you know your real reality, as of now, whatever you know about you is nothing but your thinking. Am I right? Is there anything you know about you more than your thinking? Anybody? If you know something more about you, more than your thinking, this seat is for you. See, whatever you know about you is all based on your thinking. So, I can very comfortably assume your thinking is your reality, as on now. Am I right? So, it is all about you jumping into the past and future, past and future, past and future. That's all is your thinking. That's all is your, what you call as you. See, what I call as you is much beyond than what you call as you. So now I am talking about what you call as you. It's all about movements between the past and future. And I want you to know, it has a direct utility in your life's balance sheet. So please don't think it is some philosophy. It is some metaphysics. It is some intellectual stuff. Allow every word to enter into you. It can increase your everyday balance sheet. Double. It can increase your everyday balance sheet. So allow this understanding to set into your system. I can make you alive. The life you felt during your puppy love at the age of 13 or 14 or 15, that being alive, I can make that as your eternal way of existence. Please listen. That can become your just eternal perception about you with this one understanding. So allow this to enter into you. When you jump from past to future, past to future, past to future, you also pick up the visualizations of the past and project it on the future as it is or altered way. As it is or altered, both are bondage. Listen, if you are poor, if you were poor in the past, and you are projecting the same on the future, the same visualization, then your default future is poverty. But if you want to alter and project that into your future, you may become rich, but both the way you are bound by the concept of money. Your life perception is all about money. Please understand. The moment you accept somebody as enemy, whether you win or lose, you lost. Because your struggle is within the perception your enemy has thrown on you. If a rich man teases you, oh, you are so poor, and you take it up, you want to change your future and you become rich and show in front of him, you are a fool. Because finally you lost your life for his perception. You did not live your life for your perception. Whether you win or lose, the moment you accept an enemy, you lost it. You lost it. By not accepting enemy, making enemy powerless is the greatest victory. By not accepting enemy and making him powerless over your life is victory. That is what I call ahimsa. Don't make him have power over you. Please understand. The past, whether you allow the past to be repeated in your future or whether you allow the past to be repeated in an altered way in your future, the smell of the past destroys future. Listen, you were poor, a rich man teases you, you are poor, who are you? You don't have an existence, your identity is useless. He shakes you to your core and puts you in identity crisis. You take up the challenge. If you don't become rich, you lost in front of him. If you become rich again you lost in front of him. Because the framework with which you were trying to fight, the framework itself was given by him. If you are trying to fight within the framework thrown by him, he already won the game. That is what we Indians are trying to do. We are trying to prove our supremacy with the framework given by the West to them. Whether you win or lose, you are a loser the moment you accept their framework to prove your superiority, to establish your supremacy. The past, the visualizations you carry from past and project it on the future, whether altered or as it is. Listen carefully. If you allow the past to be projected on the future, default. That is what is your default future. Many people who think future is decided, they allow their default past to enter into default future. Default past enters in and becomes a default future. You are a defunct present. Understand? When you allow the default past to become default future, you are defunct present. Some of the concepts we carry, oh, past exists, future exists, then where is my role? That concept is from this understanding. If you have that perception, this is where you will end up. You will allow the default past into default future, where you are defunct present. That's one. That's one level of perception. The next, picking up the past, altering it and projecting on the future, where you think you have the freedom to write your future, freedom to rewrite your future. That's little next level, but not absolute or ultimate. Next level, at least you are awake. You have something called passion. You really want to do something about it. You really want to understand and make your life better. That is what is all the self-confidence gurus teach you, which I am not. Please be very clear. I have absolutely no interest in giving you self-confidence. I have only one interest, to give you self. All these self-help gurus, creative visualization. Oh God. Whether it is all dumped or nicely arranged, junk is a junk is a junk. No, really. All self-confidence gurus teach you to arrange the junk nicely and make a rangoli out of it. No. I am not self-help or self-confidence guru. The self-help, self-confidence is all about taking your past and altering it and projecting it on the future. If you are ignorant, trying to become intelligent in the future. If you are ugly, trying to become beautiful in the future. If you were poor, trying to become rich in the future. I am not against it, but I am not guru for that. I am not against it, but I am not saying that is absolute or that is the life or the reality. Listen carefully. One and only solution is alter the visualizations and perceptions of the past itself. So, whether it is default or developed, the future is absolutely liberating you. Listen, the perception and experience of the past, if it can be changed through the completion process, whether default reproduction or altered reproduction happens, your future is absolutely liberating you. Understand? That is what conquering time. Conquering time means removing the load of the past. So, whether you default reproduce that in future or altered way you reproduce it in the future, both way you are free, you are liberated. There is no worry about the future. There is no bondage in the future. There is no suffocation in the future. Ramakrishna gives a very beautiful example. If a fly sits on the filth and sits on the rice again and again few times, you can't eat the rice anymore. This is filth, this is rice. If you sit too much on the past and sit on the future, it is not sitting on the future. Understand? Now, I have not said anything, everyone understood. It is not sitting on the future. There are some people, by conquering the future, want to change the past. That is called history. When a man wins politically, he changes the whole past. That is history. But by changing the past, changing your future is reality, enlightenment. Listen carefully. Your past is not as you perceived and recorded. That is why, please understand, it is not bad news, it's a good news. Your past is not as you perceived, recorded, stored, archived. It's a good news. That is why I am saying you can change it. You can change it. When you complete with the perceptions, experience, you archived about your past, lot of enmity becomes irrelevant. I have seen people, just because their uncle shouted at them when they failed in the first grade examination in the first standard, they become PhDs, stupid fellows. No, if you become PhD just because you are passionate about exploring it, great. In India, everybody becomes engineer only then decides what to do next in the life. Then they try to discover what they want to become in the life. No, really. Just because somebody has hurt you, when you failed in your first grade examination, you decide to become a PhD. Absolutely foolish. You just needed one session of completion. That is like a suffering. Somebody's vomiting. Somebody vomited on you, you ate that is sitting in your stomach, and you are suffering with that for 25 years. You just need little haritaki and cleansing. Understand, conquering time happens in multiple layers in your system. Now first, I am going to help you to conquer time psychologically. But that is also not ultimate. Physiologically you can conquer time. I am not giving you false hope. I am not teaching you something lie. I am telling you, you can stop time moving, not just for you, for all the people around you. Your reality. You can stop time. I am not giving you false hope. I am giving you a science. But before I help you to conquer the physiological, chronological time, I have to help you to conquer psychological time. This is the first step. Then I can lead you to conquer physiological, then physical. Let me describe what I mean. When I say conquering psychological time, I mean not being affected by the psychological ups and downs, and anything happens in you psychologically does not touch you. I remember beautifully, Arunagiri Ishra asked me, what do you want to become? I said, Sadashiva. He said, that is the only reality. Anything which makes you perceive psychologically, physiologically, neurologically, all that does not touch you. This is reality. I don't know the power with which he said, the way in which he said. I just know that is the truth. From that moment, it is just vibrating in me as a truth. That is reality. Nothing else touches. First, if you conquer psychological time, means no psychological effect can happen on your system, on you. Next is conquering physiological time, means even physiologically, other than your decision of who you are, nothing else can have effect over your physiology. That is what I mean, conquering physiological time and conquering chronological time. That is the absolute siddhi. Mahadeva explains this in Agama beautifully. Once you conquer the psychological time and physiological time, conquering chronological time is nothing. And I tell you, I am not giving you two big false promises and hopes. I am giving you a science which is absolutely possible, and I will prove it by giving you the glimpse. I will give you the glimpse by tomorrow end. Before the program ends, I will give you the glimpse. How the psychological time, physiological time, chronological time, all three can be conquered. Because you are beyond time. I may be using this body, but I am beyond this body. You may be using time, but you are beyond time. You may be using time, but you are beyond time. Now, few minutes. The heavy powerlessness you experienced in the past, which is influencing your thinking. It can be as simple as your elder brother snatching a chocolate from you, or as difficult, as complicated as your friend snatching your girlfriend away from you. It can be anything. Past sitting heavily on you and influencing your thought current. The past thoughts, emotions, patterns, hangovers, residues sitting in the present and suffocating you, not letting you live your future, is incompletion. So the major incompletions which is influencing your thought current. Why don't you take few minutes and pen down? I'll help you to complete them. I'll show to you experientially. You can conquer psychological time, physiological time, and chronological time. If you can conquer physiological time, you will never allow the wear and tear of the body. Your organs will listen to you. You will never allow the wear and tear of the body. Wear and tear of the body is nothing but physiologically time affecting you. Let's first work on psychologically conquering psychological time. I'll repeat what you have to write. The strong thought currents, powerlessness, incompletions from the past, which is influencing and driving you into your future. Those powerlessness moments, why you decided to become wealthy, why you decided to become powerful. If it is out of passion, great, no problem. If there is some powerlessness, some incident, incompletion is influencing you, pen down that. Let's catch the influence of the past on your thinking system. I also want people to know I am only reviving the Vedic tradition. I am not inventor of any of this. I am making it very clear. Of course, I am responsible for what I am talking. Whatever I am uttering, this is my experience. But the source is the Sanatana Hindu Dharma scriptures. My Atma Pramana, my experience, which is matching with the Apta Pramana, the sayings of the ancient rishis, is what I am presenting it in front of you. Please be very careful, listen. Only a Pandit who knows what is in the scripture but does not have experience cannot give you experience. Or some people who say they have experience but they don't care about the scripture. They don't care about map their experience back to the Shastra. There is always a danger. They may be serving their whims and fancies to you, which may be crow biryani, not chicken biryani. Understand? There is always a danger. There is a comedy which is very popular in all language movies. A comedian will go and eat 5 rupee biryani in the platform, come and make and the other guy walking in the street will tell, did you eat biryani in that platform? He'll say, yes, yes, because 5 rupee, cheap biryani. He'll say, if you eat crow biryani instead of chicken biryani, what kind of sound will come? Only the crow sound will come. So please understand, whenever you go to any yoga, meditation, spirituality, any gurus, teachers, ask this question first. From which Shastra this system is taken out? I am not disrespecting gurus, gurujis, their experiences. Most of the time their experiences may be good for only them. What is good for the whole world? The sketch, the framework is already done by the rishis. So whatever is my experience, I map it back on the Shastras, and only the teachings, truths where it passes through both the test. Atma Pramana, my experience, and Apta Pramana, the Rishi's words, Rishi's experience. Only when these two matches, only those truths are worthy of being shared with the whole world. I can give you guarantee, whatever I am sharing with you, there won't be any negative side effect, because everything time-tested, foolproof, ancient. Yes, I have experienced it. I am responsible for what I am talking. And I have also mapped it back clearly with the tradition, with the Shastras, authentic scriptures. Because I feel responsible for your life. Whatever I am sharing, I know most of you are going to take this very seriously and strategize your life based on these great truths. Then I also have to be 120% sure about every word I am uttering. That is the reason, before I share with you every process, I give you the original reference. Sometimes people tell, oh, you don't have to repeat all that, please you tell directly the technique, method. I say, no. Only if I set this trend, my sannyasis also will follow this trend. Never a dilution will happen. I am not just teaching, I am producing thousands of teachers. So I have to set this trend. That's the reason I repeat the original verses, which you don't need to memorize. I am not expecting you to memorize. Just listen so that this tradition is kept alive. 94th verse, 22nd technique from Shivajnana Upanishad, which is part of Shivagama. Chittat yantaha kritir nasti mamantar bhavayet iti vigalpanam abhavena vigalpair uchito bhavet. I'll translate and give you the precise method. The essence of this verse is reliving is relieving. Means the past powerlessness which is influencing your thinking, relive those incidents, not remembering. Please understand, there is a big difference between remembering and reliving. For example, something happened in your life at the age of 8, 9, which is still influencing your thinking. I have seen people getting influenced by something happened when they were 3, 4 and all. They are 57. Something happened at 7 influences them. One man came to me and said, I never go to beach, Swamiji. Even if I drive through the beach roads, I shiver, sweat. I have a panic attack. I asked why. No, at the age of 7, I went for a walk with my father. I saw murder happening in a beach and we ran away from that spot. From that spot till I can't, now I am 57, I can't go to beach. 40 years, the pattern with which he is suffering. Sometimes the past influences you so much. See, carefully listen. You are now 57, something happened at the age of 7. If you remain as 57 and visualize what happened at that age of 7, that is called remembering. Reliving means forget your present identity. Just dump it, throw it. Become that person. At the age of 7, what intelligence you had, how you were, visualize and become that person. Enter into that person's physiological, psychological frame. Take few minutes and meditate on that person. Become that person. Then relive. When you relive, all the powerlessness accumulated in your nervous system during that incident, it may be emotional suppression or the identity crisis, various guilt, pain, suffering, it will all just break, collapse and leave your system. Your system will be clean. System will be cleansed. When the effect of your past is reduced on your existence, you will not reproduce it as it is or in an altered way on your future. Neither reproducing as it is nor reproducing in altered way is liberation. You may ask, then I will not do anything in the future? No, you will do a lot. But not as an altered expression of the past, but liberated expression from the past. The liberated expression means even if you make money, you will do it just to enjoy, celebrate. But if you are making money because you have been teased as a poor, because you have been challenged as a poor, because you have an identity crisis as a poor, even if you become rich, you will continue to suffer. I have seen many moneyed poor people. Understand, paradoxical word. Moneyed poor people. Poor are those who have only money. Uneducated are those who are educated only in schools, especially modern Indian schools. I have to put this on record. Any of you think I'm little intelligent? I tell you, I never went to school properly. And any of you want to become intelligent? I give you this as my first instruction. Remembering is different, reliving is different. In remembering, you will justify, analyze, criticize, judge, hate, deny. In reliving, nothing of that exists. Just become that person. Pick up one incident which you want to complete. Become that person. Forget your present identity. Relive at least 3-4 times. Then pick up the second incident. Become that person. Relive at least 3-4 times. And I tell you, this one technique, it can give you as simple as freedom from headache to as complicated as freedom from this whole samsara. This one technique is independently intelligent enough to lead you up to enlightenment. This part you have to do. Next part I'll do. I'll tell you when I am going to do what I am going to do. So now this is the part you have to do.